Voting is continuing in Zimbabwe's general election for another day. Authorities extended the poll in some areas because of delays, which left people waiting for up to 10 hours to cast their ballots. Some polling stations lacked ballot papers and failed to open on time. Others had not received papers by 7 p.m. when voting was scheduled to end. The main opposition party accused the government of rigging and voter suppression. Many of the delays were in the capital, Harare, where opposition support is usually the strongest. As Zimbabweans are electing their president, parliament, and local councillors. It's only the second general election since the death of Robert Mugabe, who dominated politics in Zimbabwe for decades.
Determined to change their future, Zimbabweans flocked to the polling stations. After 2 decades of economic chaos, and with inflation currently running at around 100%, people are desperate for change.
Yeah, they must support us in our business because I'm a vendor. So we need something good.
Development of roads, electricity, more clinics, more schools.
We want Chamisa to change the Zimbabwe. We're tired of Emerson Mnangagwa abusing us with poverty and stuff.
There are 2 key candidates facing off in this general election. Incumbent President Mnangagwa from the ZANU-PF party and Nelson Chamisa from the opposition party Citizens Coalition for Change. Mnangagwa took power in 2017 after a military coup and won in elections the following year, but that win was widely disputed. He says his government has created stability and economic opportunities in Zimbabwe.
ZANU-PF is about politics for national development. ZANU-PF is for production. ZANU-PF is for peace. ZANU-PF is for unity.
Yet currently a quarter of Zimbabweans are out of regular work. Chamisa in turn is pledging economic growth, less corruption and more inclusive country.
Jobs, opportunities, freedom for
These promises resonate with the country's youth.
I fought because I'm 23 years old and I'm still young. I just finished my school, but I'm not employed. So as a young person, I just want the next government to change the situation so that we can be employed for the future of our next generations.
Almost 1 million Zimbabweans voted for the first time, a significant number with the power to impact Zimbabwe's future.
The air is thick with promises for a better future from the main 2 presidential candidates. Incumbent President Mnangagwa presents himself as pro-business and says his government has created stability and economic opportunities.
ZANU-PF is about politics for national development. ZANU-PF is for production. ZANU-PF is for peace. ZANU-PF is for unity.
Chamisa has in turn pledged to grow the economy, reduce corruption, and build an inclusive Zimbabwe.
Jobs, opportunities, freedom for
The election has been described as a divide between the old and the young generations.
For the electorate, it is a choice between maintaining the status quo or embracing the change in the opposition, which they are not sure yet. Many would want to see a government that would turn around the economy, create jobs, good health, and inclusivity.
Emerson Mnangagwa is 80 years old. He came to power after a 2017 military coup which toppled longtime ruler Robert Mugabe. Many say Mnangagwa didn't change much though, and he is accused of oppressing opponents. On the international stage, he is known for his close relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He recently attended Putney's Africa Summit and accepted gifts including a new presidential helicopter. Nelson Chamisa is just 45. He is a lawyer and a pastor, but has been politically active since his youth. He is credited with reviving Zimbabwe's opposition after major splits in the past few years. Internationally, Chamisa is considered more Western-leaning than Mnangagwa. Analysts say the election is tilted in favor of the incumbent due to support from state organs like security and the judiciary, and many expect another disputed result.
The contest now between President Mnangagwa and Nelson Chamisa, it's likely going to be disputed. Though the dispute as it comes, the onus again will be on the opposition to prove that they did not lose the election.
If the opposition win but fail to prove it, that will mean more of the same for Zimbabwe's people. And many of them are struggling to survive in a battered economy.
Our correspondent, Privilege Musfanhiri, followed that report. He is following that election for us in Harare, and I asked him earlier which issues are top of people's minds as they cast their ballots.
At the top of the people's minds as voters go into different polling stations today is the economy. You find that Zimbabwe has been struggling economically, and a lot of people are unemployed. And as voters go to cast their ballots, is the struggles within the economy that will be at the back of their minds. They hope that the next government will be able to tackle most of the problems that people are facing right now, the challenges that they are facing. Most of the challenges has to do with stability in the economy, things like the currency and the exchange rate. So these are some of the issues that people are going to be having at the back of their minds. It's the bread and butter issues that most people are concerned about.
Now, your report also mentioned concerns about whether the run-up to this vote has been free and fair. Do you think we are likely to see a disputed result here?
Analysts are predicting a disputed result in the sense that there are issues that have been cropping up in the run-up to today. One of the issues is to do with the, what is called the delimitation exercise, which determines the boundaries of the constituencies. So you find that voters, some of them, as they are walking into the polling stations, we witnessed this today, where people are coming to check their names. They are told that your name is not at this polling station. Maybe it was shifted to a polling station which is now 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers away. So in that sense, a lot of people may not be able to vote. They are disenfranchised because some of them may not be able to go to their respective places to go and cast their votes. That issue as well caused one of the presidential contenders to withdraw from the election, because he was saying that, look, during the run-up, there were issues to do with disqualification of candidates. And then he says, even if I'm going to contest, I only have 24 members of parliament out of more than 100 that they were expecting to be contesting. 87 did not manage to register to contest. So you are saying, even if I then manage to become president, I will not be able to have control of the parliament. So those are some of the issues that may bring out a disputed result in this election.
So with these issues and these possible hurdles for some to actually go vote, are Zimbabweans excited about this election? These are, after all, only the second general elections since Robert Mugabe's ouster.
What has happened, if you notice the mood in the run-up to the election, the hype has not been as it was in the previous elections. You would, yes, you could notice that we are in an election season because of the electioneering that was happening, because of rallies and like. But if you speak to the general and the ordinary people, some of them are not even concerned to come out of their house today to go and cast their ballots because they are kind of fatigued with what has happened previously. And what they are saying is that some of the promises that were made in 2018 were not met. So those are some of the issues that may, crop up as well and deter some of the voters to come out and go and cast their ballots today.
Well, thank you very much for your reporting. That is DW's correspondent Privilege Musfanhiri in Harare.